Hey guys, welcome to the 112th, that's right, 112th edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential. And today we're going to look at somebody that I talked about in the video where I mentioned about romance being in Transformers. And of course, the title says it best. I'm talking about Alana. That's right, Alana from the Season 2 episode of G1 called Sea Change. And Alana basically falls under that category of romance in Transformers between non-Autobots and Autobots. That's pretty much how it falls under. Because, of course, people have that whole Daniel RC relationship going on. They talk about that and stuff. Then, of course, you have the Girl That Loved Power Glide episode with that character. Then, of course, you have the normal human relationship between Carly and Spike, of course, if you will. But then, of course, you have other relationships depicted as well. Like I said, you have other relationships depicted as well. But Alana's is kind of interesting because not only does she fall under that category of, non-Transformer Autobot characters falling in love with Transformers / Autobots. It's not just that category she falls under. Believe it or not, she actually falls under Autobot falling in love with Autobot. And the reason I say that mainly is due to the fact that, like I said, it's due to the fact that in this episode, Sea Change, one of the main plot points of the episode is they have this pool of transformation. And since Alana belongs to these kind of humanoid fish-like people, kind of Atlantean-like people, if you will, under the sea, they basically use this pool of transformation to become mermaids and mermen, and then human men and human women, depending on what they have to do. But from what we see in this episode, it's not just limited to them, I should say, of becoming mermen and mermaids and human men and human women, back and forth. It's not just limited to that. Whatever they think of, obviously, they can become. Whatever they feel, about themselves inside, like from a, soul perspective, spiritual perspective, heart perspective, combined with the mind, they can become. They don't have to necessarily become human once they go back on land. If they want to become an animal like a tiger or a bird or whatever, they can become that. Well, in this episode, Sea Spray, who falls for Alana and Alana falls for him, believes there's more to him than just nuts and bolts, circuitry and all that. So he dives into this pool of transformation, and he comes out as a human man. But the only exception is his feet are still robotic. They're still the same feet he had before. But when he goes back in to go to her kingdom, he becomes a full-on mermaid. Or merman, I should say, along with her being a mermaid. Now, like I said, she falls into the category of both non-Transformer character falling in love with Transformer character and Transformer character falling in love with Transformer character. The reason I say she falls in those categories is because later on, Sea Spray changes back to his old self again because he has to fight off the Decepticons and our ally, a guy called Atlantean or whatever his name is, who's, I guess, aligned himself with the Decepticons in this episode. So he has to change back to normal. He has to change back to his robotic self, right? But Alana, he decides she's going to help out as well. So what does Alana do? Well, like I said, this is where basically the pole of transformation proves to us that it's more than just, turn into merman, mermaid, and then, when you go under the sea, and then to human man, human woman when you go on land. This moment here proves that there's more to the transformations than just that, because here Alana uses the pool of transformation to temporarily turn herself into a female Autobot. I am not lying. She turns herself into a female Autobot, which she even asks Seaspray if he likes, which of course he does, because he's even surprised. And then on top of that, like I said in the other video about romance being in Transformers, since G1, with her turning herself temporarily into an Autobot, she basically also can transform into whatever vehicle mode she needs. So like Seaspray, he becomes this boat-like submarine thing, right? Motorboat submarine thing, right? Well, her answer to that, being temporarily Autobot now, is her transformation is into a Gondola. That's right, a Gondola which shoots lasers. That's right, just like Seaspray shoots his lasers from his transformation in boat mode, she does the same thing from her Gondola in boat mode. Yeah, so she basically shoots lasers. Now, she doesn't have the traditional sound when she transforms, because hers was different. The magic that's coursing through her right now to help with the transformation basically allows her just to, glow and then turn into whatever she needs. So she goes back and forth. However, unfortunately, she doesn't stay this way. She doesn't stay a female Autobot forever, but she does tell Seaspray that that's, like I was saying, basically she doesn't remain a Transformer for long. She goes back to her old state, or original state I should say, but she tells Seaspray that it's not going to change how they feel about each other, and she rides off, and she basically rides on top of him in his boat mode into the sunset, as the episode ends. However, that's not the last time we've known about Alana. In various other Transformer media, she does show up. She does show back up. And they do keep that connection between her and Seaspray. As a matter of fact, there's a issue of Transformers Legends, which was kind of new to me when I looked this up, where they need to find a certain thing for transformation or whatever the case may be. And this thing, whatever it is, turns Alana back into her Transformer alter ego. But the difference, though, is she can't change back because the item they needed got used by somebody else. I think it was the Legends version of Tigertron, I think, from what I read. So she can't change back for the time being, so she decides she's just going to make the best of it. Seaspray, of course, from what I can understand, didn't complain about it, and neither did she, because they get to spend time with each other. More so than they ever could because of the difference in transformation. I mean, even though they still loved each other and everything, like she said, them being different wasn't going to change any of that. And like I said, with Legends here, obviously they went back to her being an Autobot, or turning her back into an Autobot, and obviously she's just like, better well make the best of it, and that's obviously what she does in Legends. Sorry about that pause there. I was just trying to think about what I was going to say. One of the things I do with these animated girl profile confidentials is most of them are done unscripted. So I just go by what comes to mind. But anyway, like I said, she gets turned back into an Autobot in the Legends versions, and she ends up staying that way and making the best of it, for as far as I know. I don't know if she changed back or anything. But in conclusion, I will say this. She is one of the first. This is a fact from my opinion, from my personal point of view, being a fan for a long time. She is one of the first female Autobots on screen. Yes, her Autobot form is temporary. There's no doubt about it. But she is one of the first. She, along with Alita, Chromia, and Moonracer, and Firestar, she is one of the first as far as G1 is concerned. And I know some people may say, well, that doesn't count. That is true. That's your opinion. That it may not count, but to me it does. I mean, if she cares about sea spray to a point that she's willing to temporarily turn herself into a female Autobot with a transformation into a gondola boat, if you will, which comes equipped with lasers. Yeah, I think that pretty much, even temporarily, falls under the category of her being one of the first female Autobots on our screens. And that's a fact. But anyway, though, guys, that's all I'm going to say for this edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential, the 112th edition, talking about Alana from Transformers Generation 1 and the episode Sea Change. If you've not seen the episode yet, go to tubin.tv. It is there. They have Transformers G1. I think you'll enjoy it, and you'll see exactly why a lot of people actually became fans of Alana when she appeared, and why sometimes they do joke about her transformation at times, depending on the Wikipedia and fandom pages out there. But again, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. I am out. Like the video, comment down below, as well as in the live chat during the premiere, and I am out.